Well, I really do try to strive for giving you guys the best. So I will probably try to put minor spoilers in some different videos. I'll probably let you guys know on different channels. Let's get to it without spoiling everything. Was this a good film? I think it was a good film, but it's not a great film. So is it a decline from the first film? Yes. This sequel is a huge decline. That said, even with the huge decline, it's still pretty amusing, still pretty enjoyable. There are moments where I did laugh, moments where I was terrified, although not too terrified because I know the rules now. So overall, would I recommend it? If you have enough money, yes, this is a lot better than Scream 7. But that's a very, very low bar to say, well, it's better than Scream 7. So what do we get? Well, and this will definitely polarize people. I'm only with them halfway. So the directors decided to pick up the story, I kid you not, like moments after the conclusion of the first film. So we're going right into the second film. So if you have seen the first film and have rewatched it, this will be shocking. It'll be like, wow, oh wow. So feel like one continuous story. But that is a risky choice. And I just think at the end, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work because you just have the dilemma that, and again, I'm not spoiling the film, not going to spoil the plot or even the twists, but you will know if you've seen the first film, it's about a hunt. So the directors clearly had an impasse here. Well, what do we do? They either radically reinvent the hunt or just make it bigger. And that is what they did. They just made this hunt, which was small, confined, tense, psychological thriller, very lean and mean. And now they just made it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, but with diminishing results. So it is hugely disappointing. That said, comparatively, I like this a lot better than Hail Mary. I like this a lot more than Weapons. And I definitely like this way more than the Halloween trilogy that David Gordon Green decided to vomit into the universe. So it's a lot better than really bad horror films and is above average in many categories. That said, I think they went a little too far. So for instance, there's moments where Samara Weaving, she's getting older. It's fine. I'm getting older too. So she actually looks pretty good in a lot of shots. But they really try to go overboard with style. That said, she's a great actress. There were some moments that were genuinely touching by her. So she's definitely trying to have a good balance of the style and, the snark. But some other characters, I'm not going to just, I'm going to say it, the brother is too much. At the beginning, it's fine. It's fine. They are meant to be evil. They're going to be stylish and evil. They're going to be a little bit like jokers. That's fine. But that guy just went way too far. And there's a twist that was so lame. And I'm like, no, please don't do it. So it's a fine line portraying crazy people who are tough, sexy, and just brutal and be careful, and then just outright cartoon. And the directors don't quite know when to stop. And this is the same problem with Scream 6. That some parts look great. Some things are shot well, but then you look and think about it more. That's too much of a cartoon. It's even for Scream, that is way too silly. Now, this series is more silly to begin with. So I need to judge it on that curve. Can't say, wow, how did that thing explode? That's just the universe we're in. Things explode. I'm going to leave it there. If you know, you know. So things explode. Okay. How? Why? Don't really ask. So there is a lot of blood. The bloodshed, the kills are finally stylistically done. But beyond a certain point, this thing wears out its welcome. It really does. So after about an hour and 10 minutes, it's like, okay, let's just wrap it up. We don't really have much more. But no, they go the extra mile. And again, people are really trying. Like Elijah Wood, right, Sarah Michelle Gellar. They are trying. David Cronenberg is very good in this. But again, just feels they hadn't quite found a way to merge style with the substance because it is fairly flimsy. Because again, it seemed implied in the first film, like the Samara Weaving character went through her bitter, insane trial, right? Just had an insane adventure. Survived the adventure. We are finished. We're done. moving on, but now it's like, oh, she's back with a sister? It's like, again, that's a gamble. Just double, triple, quadruple what you did last time. There is that school of thought. There's also the school of thought, you need to try to do something better and more original. You need to try. This thing is not going to try. So it just felt kind of chained and imprisoned to a Quentin Tarantino tone and atmosphere. Listen, I'm going to be consistent. I think when Quentin takes his thing too far, it does damage the story and characters. And they do the same thing here. But does it look good? Does it sound right? Is the editing on point? Yes. But still, sometimes this thing got lazy with the music and the composition. And the music choice is like, okay, I didn't expect that coming. But once it's done, it just felt frustrating. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get the thing. So this is like just a lot of frustration here. I will say, though, they do get to the story fairly quick. They do need to set things up. So they're careful to be like, give enough introduction and get right to the kills, get right to the horror, get right to the blood. Some fans will appreciate that. I am going to be on the opposite opinion. I think they should have done a little bit more because as it is super thin. It's just these two girls are being hunted down by Satanists, basically, and that's about it. It's not a deep rethinking of our mythologies here. And the first film did leave open a lot of possibilities, but it just seems they're just going back and playing the old hits, which they did with Scream 7. But here it is done way better. For the most part, I did find the movie believable, and there were moments of real tension. And again, their humor is chaotic, to say the least, but sometimes when it is funny, it is really funny. That said, come in with modest expectations. Like, yes, they are here, Elijah, Sarah, David Cronenberg, but they are not acting the way you think. Like, their role in this film is going to shock people. I was okay with the beginning shocks, but after a while I was like, okay, now these shocks just seem to be stupid and lame. So that is where we are. A lot of pizzazz, I don't want to deny that. A lot of sizzle, but the substance was fairly weak. So I'm forced to give this a very severe 6.75 out of 10. Again, I'm being uber critical, but a lot of people are going with 7 out of 10. Again, 7 out of 10 is still above average in my eyes, but you'll see it when you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, right, okay. So it's a big letdown from the first film, but they did enough good, decent things. I think most people will be very amused. They'll enjoy the ambiance, but after a certain point, I thought, this is really detracting for the story. It would have been better, keep it smaller, but they wanted to go big. Okay, that's their choice. But now having gotten so big, it felt paradoxically very empty. Very empty. So 6.75 out of 10. That's still a good number, but I did want more. I did. Sorry, I did expect more. Just a little bit more.